haven't finished it. Yeah, but I'm on the last boss. Like at this point, I played the game. You know, I know the game. I've been to every place in the game. I fought every boss except for 3 bosses in the game. I definitely know the game pretty much inside and out. I think the exploration in the beginning of the game felt way more dense with populated monsters that were new and interesting. Go full cam? Okay. And toward the end of the game, it started to feel very sparse and empty in monster population, and there was a lot of repetition in the monsters themselves of same monsters that I had already seen throughout my gameplay experience. It didn't feel like there was a lot of new stuff to it. So I felt like that was kind of an L. There were a lot of zones that had interesting and new like ideas compared to the base game and other Souls games that I played, like the Haunted Forest area. I had not seen them do that before, and I thought it was really interesting to have an area where you needed to sneak and use that. And I hadn't seen that before in their games. So I thought that that was cool that you had to use items that were within the world to be able to make it through that area, or just be very frustrated. So I thought that was really cool. I think that some of the bosses are... I think that just the Radon fight is so overtuned. I'm using overtuned because he said that word to me yesterday, and I thought it was a really good word. I think it's just minimally needs a tone down in the timing between attacks. 0.1 to 0.5 seconds between attacks would be way better, and give way more opportunity for different builds to flourish and give it different opportunity. And you could still get hit for the same amount of damage. You could still get everything be the same. Just having a little bit of reprieve would be a little bit enjoyable, even especially in phase 2, where it becomes just a bit of a button mash fest, and it becomes tiring and not fun, rather than fun because you know you're hitting things right. After a while in phase 2, you're just really spam buttoning in order to survive, and you're not particularly like doing any time, like there's no real timing to it by phase 2. Sometimes it can just be just button mashing, and it feels really boring compared to a lot of the other bosses, where I felt like every other boss in the game, including Mesmer, no matter how frustrated I was at the time with Mesmer, it was because I was not good at that fight that I wasn't doing well, because I wasn't handling 3 of his abilities very well, and I needed to learn them. It's kind of like Waterfall. But once I learned those abilities, it was way easier. I think that the Radon fight is really the big problem with the game for me personally, because of it's visually overwhelming, so you can't really tell what's going on in the fight. And you kind of have to guess sometimes because there's too much visual stimulation. If there was a little opacity to the light attacks, it would be a little bit better. So you can actually see what's happening, because you can't sometimes even know what's going on at all. And it just makes it really very frustrating. And then the lock-on ability for the dragons is sometimes okay and sometimes not okay, and I think that that's not really good. I wish that there was more consistency with that. Either make it so you can never lock onto the legs, or make it so you could lock onto the legs of the other 2 dragons in the game that just suddenly don't have that mechanic. It's a really weird mechanic to take away, and putting the summon inside the arena is a little bit weird as well. It's just slightly too much, but the music in the game, phenomenal. Just absolutely just fantastic, actually. A lot of the mobs in the game the new mobs specifically, were really cool. I fought nearly every mob in the game. Every time I came in contact with something, for the most part, I fought. I don't run away from mobs most of the time. So I actually do have an opinion about it. I thought almost every fight in the game outside of the Radon fight was really well made. Radon fight and then that one dragon fight was just really annoying because you only can lock onto the head. So you have to learn to play without locking on. And if you're not if you don't use controller very often, it can be very hard to switch into a situation where you suddenly have to use movement controls when you're not really like ever in any Souls game pretty much taught to use movement controls. It's just really weird. But I thought that the fight itself, if you like change that one aspect, it would have been phenomenal. It probably would have been my favorite fight in the game. I liked Mesmer's fight, and sometimes I imagine myself fighting Mesmer again and re-going through his fights. I really liked it. I thought it was one of the coolest fights in the game too. Even though I was very frustrated and angry when I was fighting him. It took me so many tries. I think 160 tries or something before I finally got the animations down. And that's a lot for me. Because between I think every other boss in the game outside of Mesmer, Radon, is under 15, and outside of the dragon fight, if I take that one out, it'd be between 1 and 5 attempts on every other boss. So I know that I'm not unskilled at the game. And some of the bosses I only did 1 attempt even. Like I beat them first try. I think that with that said, the game itself has beautiful. No, this isn't Kappa. You can check the VODs. I'm genuinely really good. I'm not even capping. Like I'm self-glazing, yeah, but that's because I'm confident enough to be able to say this. Oh fuck! I erased that shit from my memory, bro. The forced PvP situation where you have to completely change your build is really annoying. If you're gonna force these situations, then I think there needs to be a way where you can just change your build no matter what without having to use a larval. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that you should have to use a larval to change. I think that's not something that needed to yeah, it takes the fun out of the game. I think you should be able to switch your build if you want to. I don't think that you should be forced into that. Or make it runes, I agree. Or make it so that you can get a bell bearing to get larvals, just like you could get bell bearings to get weapon upgrades, you know? I think it just forces you to be in this specific mode, and I think that that's not really as enjoyable. So I'm personally under the situation of, I think that larvals should be a bell bearing, that you maybe still need them because I think that they're a fun idea, right? But just make it so you can get infinite amount of them, because I don't think that they need to be a finite item in the game. I think that being able to switch your build is kind of one of the cool parts of the game, you know, is that you can change and become something different if you really want to. It's the reason there's so many different items and so many different things you can wear and weapons and everything. It's kind of the fun of the game itself, you know. With the atmosphere, it was beautiful. It was, for me, atmosphere was 10 out of 10. Music was 10 out of 10. Mob design for all the new mobs was 10 out of 10. Repetition of the reskin mobs kind of sucked because there was a lot of them. Especially toward the end, there was just a lot of repeat mobs from all of Elden Ring, and I kind of thought that was lame. But you know, you have to do that sometimes. So I'm not going to hate on it. It happens a lot in MMORPGs as well. So that's not like too much of a difficulty for me. I think the major flaws for me is just the Radon fight is too. There's just not enough downtime in the Radon fight, and so maybe if you can. If it forces you to, I think, have to do stagger. I think that's the only way to do it in its current state, or to take damage. But I think stagger, based off of what I just watched, is pretty much the only way to do it effectively. And then so the Radon fight, the lock on for the dragons at the end dragons, only 2 dragons have this problem. I don't know why. And then the larvals are and then a little bit of the sparsity of minions was kind of different than most Souls games, because usually it's pretty much you're just fucking Pokemon battle level amount of minions, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just usually a Pokemon battle amount. Like, you walk 2 steps and there's a fucking minion. I think that they did better in the sense that I don't want Pokemon battle amount of minions, but I think that they need just a little bit less than Pokemon battle, just a little bit more than what they have, and it would have been fine, because there was a lot of empty space. And I think that there is some importance to that empty space, but I also think that there was a little bit of boringness in that empty space. So it's kind of hit or miss. I think that there wasn't a lot of NPCs. I'm not sure if I just didn't find anybody, but I just couldn't find like almost any NPCs compared to the base game. So with all of those critiques, based off of the good, based off of the bad, maybe it was easy to miss them. There's a lot. I didn't see any fucking NPCs, bro. They blended into the environment a little bit too much, maybe. Based off of that, if I'm giving a not upset in the middle of a fight review, what I genuinely think about the game, an 8.2. I think like an 8.2. I think it's closer to the side of going towards 7 than it is going towards 9. But I don't think that's your rating? Oh no, I pre-watched your rating. Yeah, I think 8 out of 10, 8.2 specifically out of 10. I think it's closer towards 7 than it is towards 9. As the DLC, not the game, not the base game itself. I'm sorry, that's for the DLC specifically. I think if they made just a few changes, it would be a 9 point. If they made all the changes that they added that I just mentioned, it'd be like a 9.6 to me. Like, I think outside of that, it would be a 9.6. But the 8.2 it's closer to a 7 than it is to a 9. But it would be a 9.6 if anything, even if they just add the larval change, 0.1 second to 0.5 second intervals for the Radon fight, it would bump it up to a 9. That would be all I would even need to get it to a 9. Those 2 things, I think, because the larval thing, closer to 7 point, no. It's 8.2, closer to 7, right? This is why I'm choosing 8.2. It's closer towards a 7 to me than it would be toward a 9. So if I'm choosing on the 8 scale, I'm putting it closer toward the 7. 8.2 is closer, what? No, it's not. Closer toward the 7 than it is toward the 9. Chat. No, I don't mean 7.9. I'm saying closer toward going towards 7, chats. Going towards 7, if I was diminishing the value of it, it would be, if I'm using the points as it's going down toward the 7, going down toward the 7, not up toward the 9. You know what I'm saying? If I'm... Hold on. I understand that that's... I don't even want to talk to you guys. This is how annoyed I am. Hold on. Okay. 7, 8, 9. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I have it at an 8 as the base, right? Base is 8. Okay? Base is 8, right? If I'm using the points, right? Now deciding the point factor between 1 and 10, right? I'm putting it closer toward the 7 than I am toward the 9 in the point factor. So that's why I use 0.2. See? 8.2. Closer toward the... Are you guys... I'm sorry, are you guys kind of stupid? It's not visually... I don't give a... Bro. Okay. I'm trying to explain. It's closer to the 8. Okay. It's closer to the 8. Whatever. It's closer to the 8. I'm losing my mind. I'm putting it going 7 scale toward... I think they're baiting you. Obviously, it's on the scale. It's closer toward the 9 because there's 0.8 spaces. But I'm putting it down below, going toward the 7 location, not toward the 9 location, bro. I'm going toward the 7 location. I'm not going toward the 9 location. If there's a separate scale here. You guys are fucking annoying, bro. I don't know what to do. I take it back. I take it back, chat. I had some things to say, but I take it back. I take it back. Earlier, I had said some nice things about you guys, but I take them all back. My final score is 8.2. It's not a 7, bro. I'm gonna lose my shit. It's not a 7. It's 8.2. You dummies. I'm not saying 8.2. Okay. I'm not saying 8.2 is closer to 7. I'm saying the point, if I'm putting the point system, oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. If I'm saying the points, right? Oh my god, no, paint. 1, 0, 1, right? 0.5. If I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm saying it's here and it's going down, right? I'm not saying it's here. If I was here, it'd be going up toward the 1, right? I'm saying it's going down. No, it's not 7.82. Bro! So say that okay, hold on. Don't worry, guys. It's closer toward the 7 than it is toward the 9. Don't worry. It's closer toward the 7 than it is toward the 9.
Just subscribe.